I think we all need to admit something important tonight, my sister-in-law, Rachel Harper, says as she sets her wine glass down on the table. She sighs deeply, looking like she is about to say something very noble and brave. We are all gathered for a family dinner, and the mood was fine until this exact second. Rachel looks around the room, then fixes her eyes on me. Lily has always been irresponsible. It is time we talked about it. The word irresponsible lands like a physical slap across my face. I freeze, my heart starting to pound against my ribs. The room goes completely quiet. My husband, Thomas Harper, frowns and looks at his sister. Rachel, what are you talking about? He asks, his voice low. But Rachel does not stop. She leans forward, her expression full of fake sympathy. She forgets things, Thomas. She misses important deadlines. I have been quietly covering for her for months because I didn't want the family to worry, Rachel continues. Murmurs ripple around the table. I feel my throat tighten until it hurts. That is not true, Rachel, I say, but my voice shakes. Rachel just tilts her head. Lily, you don't even realize you are doing it. That is when I realize the truth. She has already convinced them. Rachel pulls her phone out of her pocket and slides it across the table. I really didn't want to embarrass you, Lily, she says softly, her voice dripping with false kindness. But people deserve to know why the family business accounts have been such a mess lately. I cannot keep hiding your mistakes. She starts showing screenshots to everyone. There are images of missed payments, delayed email responses, and angry messages, all tied to my official name. My stomach drops into my shoes. I look at the screen, and my eyes widen. The dates and the names are there, but I don't remember any of this. They are fake, I say, but my voice feels small and weak in the large room. Everyone is leaning in to look at her phone. The images look so real. They look like actual logs from our shared system. Thomas looks confused, his eyes darting between me and his sister. He looks like he wants to defend me, but the evidence is right there in front of him. Rachel sighs and shakes her head. Lily, please do not make this harder than it already is. Just admit you need help. I look around the table and see the judgment in my father-in-law's eyes. If I didn't do those things, then who did? The energy in the room shifts instantly. The concern on the faces of my relatives turns into sharp judgment. Oh, that explains a lot, someone whispers from the end of the table. I wondered why the quarterly reports were so late. I feel heat rising in my chest, a mixture of shame and boiling anger. I am not the person they are describing. I have worked hard every single day for this family. Thomas pulls me aside into the hallway after dinner. Lily, why didn't you tell me things were this bad? He asks. His voice isn't angry. It is disappointed. That hurts more than anything Rachel could have said. He actually believes her. They're not bad, Thomas. I didn't miss those payments. I don't know where those screenshots came from. I whisper, my eyes stinging with tears. He rubs his forehead, looking exhausted. The proof is right there on her phone, Lily. Why would Rachel lie about something this serious? He looks at me, and for the first time in our marriage, I see a flicker of doubt in his eyes. He is unsure of me. I am losing my husband's trust because of a few pictures on a screen. I feel like the floor is disappearing beneath me. Later that night, when the house is finally quiet, I go into my home office and lock the door. I cannot sleep until I figure this out. I open my laptop and start going through everything. I check my emails, my bank accounts, and the company portal. I dig deeper than I ever have before. I look into the metadata of the messages and the login history of our shared accounts. And then I see it. There are forwarded messages I never sent. There are altered timestamps on documents that were submitted late on purpose. Most importantly, I find a record of my login being used from another device, a device that is not my laptop or my phone. My hands go cold as I stare at the IP address. This wasn't just a simple misunderstanding or a few human errors. This was a carefully planned setup. Someone has been logging into my accounts and making me look like a failure on purpose. They were sending late emails and deleting my replies, so it looked like I was ignoring my work. My heart chills as the realization hits me. This wasn't an accident. It was a targeted attack on my life. And Rachel was the only person with the access to do it. I sit back in my chair, and think back over the last few months. I remember Rachel offering to help me with the shared family accounts when I was busy. She insisted on managing the joint finances because she said she wanted to take the load off my shoulders. I thought she was being a supportive sister-in-law. I thought we were finally becoming friends after years of distance. Now I see it clearly. Rachel wasn't being helpful. She was inserting herself everywhere. She was making sure she had her hands on every part of my professional life. Every time I gave her a password or a login, I was giving her the tools to destroy me. I wasn't being careless with my work. I was being handled by a master manipulator who knew exactly how to play the long game. But why me? What did I ever do to her? We have always been different, but I never thought she hated me this much. I look at the dark screen of my laptop, feeling a new kind of fear. She didn't just want to make me look bad at dinner. She wanted to erase my reputation entirely. She wanted everyone to think I was a burden so that I would be pushed out of the family. The next morning, I decide to check the family business records one more time. I have a strange feeling in my gut that there is more to this than just missed emails. I pull up the expense reports and the approval logs. Something feels very off. I see several major approvals that were supposedly signed by me, but I have no memory of seeing these projects. They are for large sums of money. I look at the expenses I never signed for. There are payments to vendors I have never heard of. My chest tightens as the reality of the situation settles in. If these records are ever audited, I am the one who is legally responsible. My name is on the digital signature line. My account was the one that pushed the button. Rachel hasn't just ruined my reputation at a dinner party. She is setting me up for a crime. If the business loses money or if the taxes are wrong, the finger will point straight at Lily Harper. I am the irresponsible one who is covering her mistakes. Rachel has built a perfect shield for herself. She can steal from the company and blame me, and everyone will believe her because they already think I am a mess. She is ruining my life to line her own pockets. Just as I am about to close my laptop, my phone buzzes on the desk. It is a message from an unknown number. My pulse spikes as I read the first line. I think you should see something. It is from Megan Cole, Rachel's former coworker, who left the firm a few months ago. I haven't spoken to Megan in a year, and we were never close. Why is she messaging me now? I saw what Rachel is doing to you. The next message reads, she did the same thing to me before I was fired. I found some files on my old hard drive that might help you. I can barely breathe. This is the break I needed. Megan sends a link to a private folder. I click it, my fingers shaking as I wait for the files to download. I am terrified of what I might find. The folder opens to reveal a series of screenshots. But these are not screenshots of me. They are screenshots of Rachel. There are chat logs where Rachel is talking to someone about fixing the accounts. There are pictures of her logged into my account from her own computer. These change everything. I have been fighting a ghost, but Megan just gave me the ghost's name and address. I spend the next hour going through Megan's evidence. It is even worse than I imagined. Megan explains that Rachel used to brag about fixing things behind people's backs to make herself look like the hero of the office. She would sabotage a coworker's project, then save it at the last second so the boss would give her a raise. It was her signature move. The logs Megan sent show everything. The timestamps when Rachel edited my documents, the access trails that prove she was using my login from her home office, and the deleted folders she tried to hide. Rachel's fingerprints are all over every single mistake I supposedly made. She wasn't just covering for me. She was creating the problems so she could pretend to solve them. I finally have something real. I have proof that is more powerful than her fake screenshots. My stomach twists with a mix of relief and fury. I want to run into the living room and show Thomas right now, but I know I have to be careful. Rachel is smart. If I show my hand too early, she will find a way to delete the evidence or blame it on Megan. I need to be perfect. That evening, I decided to test the waters with Thomas. I show him one of the logs Megan sent, the one that shows Rachel's computer accessing my email. He studies the screen carefully, his brow furrowed in deep thought. This doesn't make any sense, Lily, he says. He looks like he is trying to solve a puzzle that has too many pieces. Exactly, Thomas, I reply, my voice steady. It doesn't make sense because I didn't do it. Rachel did. She has been logging into my accounts for months. He runs a hand through his hair, looking stressed. He wants to believe me, but the thought of his sister being a criminal is too much for him to handle. She wouldn't do this, Lily. She's family. Why would she want to hurt us? I hold his gaze, refusing to look away. She already did, Thomas. Look at the device ID. That is her laptop. She did it because she wanted to take over my role in the company. He looks at the screen again, but I can tell he is still not fully convinced.
He thinks it might be a mistake or a glitch.
He is choosing his sister over the evidence, and it breaks my heart. Just when I think things cannot get any worse, a notification hits my inbox that makes my heart stop. It is an official notice for an internal audit review of the family business. The email says the review is triggered by significant financial inconsistencies found in the accounts I manage. My chest tightens until I can barely get air into my lungs. This is escalating much faster than I expected. Rachel must have known the audit was coming. That is why she made that big scene at dinner. She wanted to establish a history of me being irresponsible before the auditors found the missing money. If the auditors find the signatures I never made, I could lose everything. I could even go to jail. Rachel is trying to send me to prison to cover up her own theft. I sit in the dark office, the blue light of the laptop screen reflecting in my eyes. The walls feel like they are closing in. I have the proof, but will the auditors listen to me? Rachel is a Harper. I am just the daughter-in-law. They will want to believe her. I realize that I am in a race against time. I have to dismantle her story before she finishes mine. I take a deep breath and force myself to calm down. Panic will not help me now. I need to think like a strategist. I stop reacting to Rachel's little comments. I stopped trying to defend myself to Thomas. I started collecting. I spent the next 3 days building a master file. I categorize every login, every edit, every timestamp, and every unauthorized transaction. I am not just looking for mistakes anymore. I am building a map of her crimes. If Rachel built a story out of lies, I will dismantle it piece by piece using the truth. I don't sleep. I live on coffee and adrenaline. I found the exact moment she first accessed my account. I found the emails she deleted from my trash bin. I am becoming an expert on her behavior. I realized that Rachel got in through trust. I gave her the keys to my life because I thought she was family. She used that trust to build a cage around me. But every cage has a door. I just have to find the right moment to open it. I am no longer the victim who cries in the hallway. I am the hunter, and Rachel has no idea I am right behind her. While digging through the deeper system logs, I found the smoking gun. There is a secondary device linked to my corporate account that I never authorized. It was registered 4 months ago, right when Rachel started being helpful. I checked the registration details. It wasn't registered under her name, of course. She used a fake name. But she made one tiny, arrogant mistake. She registered the device using her private home Wi-Fi network. The logs show the network name. It is a unique name that I recognize instantly. It is the name of her cat. Rachel was so sure that I would never look at the deep system logs that she didn't even bother to hide her location. She got in through my trust, but her own ego is what will bring her down. I saved the screenshot of the network ID and the device registration. This is the link that connects her physical house to my digital accounts. There is no explaining this away. It isn't a glitch, and it isn't a mistake. It is proof of a deliberate intrusion. I feel a surge of cold triumph. Rachel thinks she is the smartest person in the room, but she forgot that I am the one who actually knows how the system works. 2 days later, Thomas announces that he has called another family dinner. "Let's clear everything up once and for all," he says, looking at me with a hopeful expression. He thinks a nice talk will fix the tension in the family. Rachel agrees to the dinner almost instantly. She agrees way too quickly. I can see the spark in her eyes. She thinks this is her chance to finish me off. She thinks she is winning. She probably thinks I am coming to the dinner to apologize and resign from the business. She has no idea that I have been working 18 hours a day to build a digital trap for her. She thinks I am the same irresponsible Lily who was crying in the hallway a week ago. She has no idea what is waiting for her on my laptop. I smile at her across the kitchen as we prepare for the dinner. It is a small, polite smile. I think dinner is a great idea, Rachel, I say. I think it's time everyone saw exactly what has been going on with the business. She smirks, thinking I am finally surrendering. She has no idea that she is walking straight into the impact zone. The countdown has started. The night of the dinner arrives, and the house feels incredibly tense. Everyone is being way too polite. The air is thick with the things people aren't saying. We sit at the same table where she insulted me a week ago. Rachel is wearing a bright, confident smile. She looks like she has already won. She even brings a small gift for the hostess, acting like the perfect family member. I sit quietly, eating my dinner and waiting. I let her talk. I let her tell stories about how hard she has been working to fix the errors in the quarterly reports. I watch the family nod their heads in approval. They look at her like she is a savior and look at me with pity. It is a strange feeling, knowing the truth while everyone else is living in a lie. I smile back at her when she catches my eye. I want her to feel comfortable. I want her to feel like she is in total control of the narrative. The more confident she is, the harder she will fall when the truth hits. I have my laptop bag sitting right next to my chair. I can feel the weight of it. It feels like a weapon ready to be used. As the meal winds down, Rachel stands up again. She clears her throat, and the room goes silent. I just want what is best for this family and our legacy, she says, her voice soft and convincing. She looks around the room with fake tears in her eyes. Lily, I think for the sake of your own health and the company, you need to take responsibility and step back for a while. The room nods in agreement. My father-in-law sighs. She might be right, Lily. You've been under a lot of stress lately. Maybe a break is what you need. All eyes turn to me, waiting for my answer. They expect me to nod and walk away. Rachel is looking at me with a triumphant glint in her eyes. She thinks she has finally pushed me out of the door. This is the perfect moment. She has made her final move. She has publicly called for my removal. She has put her entire reputation on the line by claiming I am the problem. I stand up slowly, feeling a strange sense of calm. Are you done, Rachel? I ask quietly. She looks surprised by my tone, but she nods. Yes, Lily. I am done. I nod back. Good. Because I'm just getting started. I reach down and pull my laptop out of my bag. I open it and place it on the table. You all want to talk about responsibility? I ask, my voice echoing in the quiet dining room. Then let's talk about it. Let's talk about whose responsibility it was to log into my account at 2 a.m. from a house across town. I hit a button on my keyboard and a chart projects onto the wall behind me. Rachel's smile flickers for a split second, then returns. Lily, what is this? Some more excuses? She asks, but her voice is a little higher than usual. I don't answer her. I just scroll to the next slide. Every single irresponsible action tied to my name over the last 4 months came from this specific device ID, I say, pointing to the string of numbers on the wall. I zoom in on the registration details. And that device ID is registered to a network called Whiskers Wi-Fi. Does that sound familiar to anyone here? I look directly at Rachel. The room goes dead still. My father-in-law looks at the wall, then at Rachel. Everyone knows that Rachel's cat is named Whiskers. Her smile doesn't just flicker this time. It disappears completely. Her face starts to turn a pale, sickly gray. I won't stop. I walk them through the timeline I built. I show them the exact moments when I was supposedly sending late emails, while my physical phone log showed I was at the gym or at lunch with Thomas. I show them the edits made to the financial reports, edits that were made from Rachel's IP address while I was asleep in bed next to my husband. Gasps ripple through the room as the family sees the patterns. It is undeniable. The data shows a ghost in the system, and the ghost has Rachel's address. Rachel tries to shake her head. This is twisted, Lily. You're faking this. You're just a tech-savvy girl trying to frame me, because you're failing. She is shouting now, her voice cracking with desperation. She is trying to claw her way out. I thought you might say that. I say calmly. I look at Thomas, whose face is a mask of pure shock. He is finally seeing what I saw. He looks at his sister like he is seeing a monster. So, I decided to get a second opinion. I continued. I clicked the next file. I spoke to Megan Cole. She had some very interesting things to say about how you handle irresponsible coworkers. I hit play on the recording Megan sent me. Megan's voice fills the room, loud and clear. She describes exactly how Rachel sabotaged her work a year ago. But then the recording shifts. It is a clip of Rachel's own voice from a phone call Megan recorded months ago. She won't even know what hit her. Rachel's voice says through the speakers. By the time the audit hits, Lily will be the one they blame for the missing $50,000. A silence, so heavy it feels like a physical weight crashes down on the dining room. Rachel goes completely pale. She looks like she might faint. She tries to speak, but her mouth just opens and closes like a fish out of water. There is no talking her way out of this. Her own voice has convicted her. She has been caught in a trap of her own making. Thomas stares at his sister in absolute horror. You are going to let her go to jail? He whispers. His voice is trembling with a mix of heartbreak and fury. For $50,000? You are going to destroy my wife's life. Rachel doesn't answer. She can't. The truth is sitting on the wall in big, glowing letters. The irresponsible daughter-in-law was the only one telling the truth. I reveal the final layer of the setup. I show the bank transactions that were approved under my name. I show where that $50,000 actually went. I show the offshore account that is linked to Rachel's private email address. The room turns. It isn't just about lies or reputation anymore. It is about grand theft. It is about a crime that could destroy the family business. The cousins and aunts who were nodding along with Rachel earlier are now looking away in shame. They realize they were part of a lynch mob led by a thief. Rachel tries to stand up, but her legs seem to give out, and she sits back down. She looks exposed, her noble mask shattered into 1,000 pieces. Everyone in this room finally sees her for who she really is. You didn't think I was irresponsible, Rachel, I say, my voice filling the silence. You didn't think I was a failure. I let the words hang in the air for a long moment. You needed everyone else to believe I was. You needed a fall girl for your theft, and you thought I was too weak to fight back. You thought I would just cry and disappear. Rachel tries one last time to speak. It was for business. I was going to use the money to invest. I was going to save us. But nothing she says lands. Her excuses sound pathetic. Her story has crumbled in real time, and there is no rebuilding it. She looks at her father, but he turns his head away. He can't even look at his own daughter. The collapse is total. For the first time in her life, Rachel Harper is not the hero or the savior. She is the villain of the story. She is the one who is exposed. And everyone sees it. The irresponsible one is the only one standing tall. I close my laptop slowly, the click of the lid sounding like a gavel in the quiet room. The trial is over. I looked at the empty seat where Rachel's influence used to sit. She is still there physically, but her power is gone. She has been dismantled by the very facts she tried to hide. Accountability has finally arrived at the Harper dinner table. I look at Thomas and he takes my hand. He doesn't look unsure anymore. He looks like a man who knows exactly who his wife is. Thomas steps forward, his face cold and hard. He looks at his sister with a gaze that is full of ice. Explain it, Rachel, he says. Explain why you have an account with $50,000 of the company's money. Explain why you used Lily's login to steal it. His voice is low, but it carries more power than her shouting ever did. Rachel breaks down. She starts crying, but they aren't tears of regret. They are tears of a cornered animal. She tries to offer half-truths and excuses. She blames the stress. She blames the unfair distribution of the business. She blames me for making it too easy for her. But the damage is permanent. No one is listening to her lies anymore. The family sits in stunned silence as she rambles. They see the person they trusted as a liar and a thief. I am not done yet, though. I have one more thing to say. I stand up and look at her. I'm not here to ruin you, Rachel, I say. She looks up at me, a flicker of hope in her eyes. But I won't protect you either. The auditors are coming tomorrow, and I'm giving them everything. The hope in Rachel's eyes dies instantly. She knows what that means. It means legal consequences. It means professional fallout. It means she will never work in this industry again. These are her choices, not mine. I didn't steal the money and I didn't create the fake logs. I just found them. I am not being cruel. I am being just. The power has shifted, quietly and completely. I gather my things and prepare to leave. The dinner is officially over. No one is eating dessert tonight. The family is in a state of shock, trying to process the fact that their golden girl is a criminal. My father-in-law walks over to me and places a hand on my shoulder. I am so sorry, Lily, he whispers. We should have known. We should have trusted you. I look at him and nod. It is a start, but I am not ready to forgive everyone just yet. They let her say those things about me. They let her treat me like a failure for months. Trust is earned, and they have a long way to go. But at least the truth is out. At least I can breathe again, without the weight of her lies on my chest. Weeks later, things are very different. The house is quieter, but it is a good kind of quiet. People listen when I speak now. They don't double-check my work or ask me if I forgot something. They trust me because they saw the level of detail and care I put into finding the truth. I am no longer the irresponsible one. I am the most reliable person in the firm. At another family dinner, someone makes a small joke about responsibility and paying the bills. The room goes quiet for a second, a bit of the old tension returning. But before I can even react, Thomas cuts in. His voice is firm and proud. Lily is the most reliable person here. She saved this company and we all know it. I glance up at him and smile. Rachel's seat at the table is empty. She is dealing with the legal fallout of her actions, and she is no longer allowed at family gatherings. There was no big, dramatic revenge. There were no shouting matches or physical fights. There was just the truth. And this time, everyone believes it. The irresponsible sister-in-law is gone, and the real Lily is here to stay. Later that night, Thomas and I are sitting on our porch. The air is cool and peaceful. I still can't believe she did that, he says, looking out at the trees. I feel like I didn't even know my own sister. I take his hand and squeeze it. People show you who they are when they think no one is watching, Thomas. She thought she could hide in the dark. I'm sorry I didn't believe you at first, he says, looking at me with genuine regret. I let her voice get in my head. I nod, accepting the apology. It's okay. She was very good at what she did. But from now on, let's promise to always listen to each other first. No more secrets and no more help from outside voices. He nods firmly. I promise. Something between us finally resets. The distance that Rachel tried to create has been closed. We are a team again, stronger than we were before the setup started. I realized that the irresponsible label was just a shadow. Once I turned on the light, the shadow disappeared. I am not defined by what Rachel says. I am defined by what I do. Life goes on, and the business is doing better than ever. I've taken over Rachel's old responsibilities, and the accounts are finally clean. I feel a sense of peace every time I log in and see that everything is exactly where it should be. The failure has become the foundation of the family, and I am proud of the work I have done to get here. I sometimes think about that dinner and the way I felt when she called me irresponsible. It still hurts a little, but the hurt is tempered by the knowledge of my own strength. I didn't break. I didn't run. I stood my ground and let the truth do the talking for me. I am a Harper, but I am also Lily. And Lily is more than enough. The quiet victory is the best kind. It doesn't need a parade or a trophy. It just needs the acknowledgement of the people who matter. At the next family gathering, I look around the table and see the respect in their eyes. No smile is needed and no apology is required. Just acknowledgement. And for the first time in my life, that is enough.